Gallup poll found that 59% of Americans say they're better off financially today than they were a year ago. 59% better off today than a year ago. That's obviously good for Trump. Only 20% of people say they're worse off. But here's the even more important number. 74%, so much more, 74% expect that they and their family will be even better off financially next year than today, right? Does that make sense? So 59% are looking a year back, 74% are looking forward and saying, man, things are looking up. Now, a quick background on polls. As we move forward and we get closer to the election, and there's a ton of polls all the time. We look at polls, I look at polls with just a grain of salt. I dismiss almost all of them. Way too many variables at play, to the point where most polls are meaningless. It's all about how they ask the question, what words they emphasize in the question, what questions are asked in what order. So like what questions were asked before this question, how they word it, who they call, when they call. Do you call on a home phone? Do you call on cell phones? What happened in the news the day before this question was asked can affect how people answer the question. There's countless variables that can drastically change the outcome of a poll. And oftentimes the headlines don't even match the actual polling data. So I'll read a headline and then I go and you click the actual results and you're like, oh, that's like a totally different story than what the headline in the article is all about. So anyway, we take polls with a very, very small grain of salt. The only polls that I give like 2 grains of salt are the ones where they ask the same question over a long period of time. At least then you get some consistency that you can kind of look at. So this question from Gallup, which is specifically it's looking ahead, do you expect that this time next year you will be financially better off or not? No, it's financially better off or worse off than now. That's the question. So looking ahead, do you expect, I'm asking you right now, so looking ahead, do you expect that this time next year you will be financially better off or financially worse off than now? And that's when a record 74% of people said better off. The last highest was 71%. That was back in 1998. And they've been asking this question since 1976. In 1976, only 47% of people thought that they'd be better off moving forward. So this is huge. 74% of people think they're going to be better off next year. If that's true, then why would a vast majority of people vote not only against Trump, but for a completely different economic model of socialism, right? It's not just like we're going to kind of keep going down this path, but like a little bit different tax rates. It's like a totally different world. When 74% of people think we're headed on a great path financially, we're supposed to think that they're going to vote for like Bernie, who's going to completely change the entire structure of the economy. Sounds like a really tough sell, and Bernie is not a good salesman. None of these Democrats are. Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching the first on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.